Need to be.
And welcome to the first ever Talking Martelli. I got it, babe. Thank you.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome aboard.
A little slow. Okay, catching up. Welcome. We want to welcome everybody. This is something that we have been looking forward to for an extremely long time. A lot of things, a couple things that you don't know, and then I'm going to let Brian jump right in. Martelli is so much more than just a sewing and quilting company. Yes. We're very well known. Our logo can be seen all across the country and around the world. But some of the big things that you don't know is we are in several other industries, the medical, the sports, that just to name a few. And also we do a lot of importing. So this is a good way where you can learn a little bit more about Martelli and also talk about the topics that everybody's interested, because everybody's interested in so many different things.
Well, everybody's interested in everything.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, not one just talking point we can get on. But here's what it is. We're going to have a conversation each and every week. You and I and everybody out there, we're just going to have a conversation, and we're going to let it see where it goes. And that's the great thing about it is it's our own domain.
It goes where it goes.
That's right.
So
get comfortable. We're going to enjoy it. And so let's get right into it. We got, first of all, welcome, episode 1. All right, we made it.
Talking Martelli is the name of episode 1.
Episode 1, Talking Martelli. We're going to have a special guest in here a little bit later, that's for sure.
Yep.
So let's lead directly into this, bud. So, how did you come about? Like, where's Dave? Who is Dave Martelli, bud? Talk to me.
So where we fit into this is years and years ago. Just trying to give you a brief overview of how we got into the quilting, and then I'll tell you how we expanded into several other things. Back in 1997 or 8, can't remember what it was, my grandmother was making curtains. My dad had moved down here to
curtains,
to go to seminary school, Pensacola Christian College. And she was making all these curtains, and her blade kept going dull, so she's like, John, invent me a sharpener. And long story short, my dad said, sharpener for what? And my grandmother at that time showed my dad a rotary cutter. And he said, okay, sure, no problem. So he made a sharpener. My grandmother was sharpening these blades, and she said, this thing is absolutely incredible. Let's sell them. My dad's like, all right, let's sell them to who? And my grandmother said, quilters. My dad's like, yeah, right on, not thinking anything of it. And, you know, a little banter went back and forth a couple months, and my grandmother at that time brought in a quilting magazine, and the quilting magazine said there was 30 million quilters in the U.S., and that of course, painted entirely different pictures to everybody.
When you see her 30 minutes, I know what's going on in everybody's head.
So, so you're seeing, you know, hey, this can be a business. And so we started off making a sharpener, and then a friend of mine and myself traveled around the world with my mom and dad, or around the United States, showing this product, and it did very, very well. And the business turned to be very lucrative. And then how we got the rest of our products moving forward is at these trade shows. Myself and, of course, Scott at that time would talk to these other quilters, and they would show us what they do and how they do it. And then we would go back and either myself or Scott and say, hey, John, or hey, Dad, this is what they do, this is how they do it, and here's the problems that they're having. So, of course, we would develop new products, and one thing led to another, and here we are in 2021, and we have over 50 patents, we have over 300 SKUs. And
it's crazy.
And here's the thing.
It's crazy inside what's going on.
And a lot of what people don't know, you see the creativity and you see the wow factor in the products in the sewing and quilting, but we have led off into other industries. We have a knee brace coming out in the medical industry. You can't really talk about that.
But you're going to want to.
We have fisherman products, sports products, a lot of different sportsmen.
I know about the golfing and I know about the fishing.
We have golfing, we have fishing stuff, we have equine stuff for horses.
That's right, yep.
We've brought in...
We've done outdoor events, bud. Me and you
guns.
did.
Yeah, of course we did. You and I have done several outdoor shows that were very successful.
So getting into that, so like you, I mean, this has been over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know I was with the company and I started...
8-9 years ago.
Yeah, like I want to say 2013 I got into it by happenstance when Danny Graham came in and I did a business card for him, and I go, what is this?
You're ruining it, man. I was going to ask you how you got into it.
Oh, well, dude, this is...
hold on.
Oh.
How did you get into it?
So, by the way, and this is how unscripted this stuff is,
yeah.
But... so Danny comes in, and we all know Danny. If you haven't met Danny, I guess good for you. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Mr. Graham, Mr. Wellingsworth. he comes in, and I worked at the sign company. You know Michael Larson. So if Michael's out there, hey, man. So I was working with a sign. I was a graphic designer over there for a sign company for about 10 years. And so I was doing these cards for him, and he's like, I want this table on the back. And I go, table? Like, what's the table?
I got a table I can put on there. No, specific table.
Literally like a table. And so I'm asking him, I'm like, man, what the heck is this table? He goes, it's a quilting table. Pin drop. Like, yeah. I'm like, what?
What?
I thought you did concrete, bud. Yeah. And so I'm thinking, like, what in the heck is going on? So, but he's like, man, I work for a place called Martelli's. And I said, well, hold on. I'd only know one Martelli. And I crossed him over in high school, and his ankles are still broke.
I don't believe that.
His ankles are still broke. But anyway, I was like, do you know David Martelli? He goes, absolutely. That's the company I work for. I said, holy crap. So I got to come in and meet, and the rest is history. But I started working with the Martellis. Those that don't know me, my name is Brian Jordan. I don't have Martelli behind my name, but I feel like I am. Yeah, man. And let me tell you something. The work for a company like this has been ridiculously awesome. So many avenues have opened up and all that stuff for me and my family, and I can't speak enough about.
Heck, I'm a Martelli, and it's opened doors for my family and myself.
Absolutely,
my sister's family and her kids, me, my kids, and a lot of even friends of the family.
Absolutely, every aspect of this company has been like a blessing, right? And so, and then all of a sudden you put two weirdos together, and we somehow get our own show.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. You know, when you get involved in this venture, what we call sales at Martelli, I have noticed, and I've been responsible for a lot of the training up to this point for all the sales reps. And it's really weird because the people that I thought, when I was a little bit younger in school, I'm like, man, I could get this guy in the road or I get this gal on the road, man, they're going to be dynamite. They're going to absolutely go out there and kill it. They know their stuff, and they get out there and they can't sell
a lick. They can't sell a lick. And it's not even it's not a knock on the person.
No, it just takes a certain personality. And that's one thing that I figured over the years.
Yeah.
It's that certain personality, and I know Brian and I are a lot alike in a lot of different ways, up to and including harassing each other to death. But this is something that
he knows what he's talking about.
Knows what I'm talking about. The thing behind that is, and like I don't know, I want to speak for Brian here, but for myself, even at the very beginning, I didn't know that I was born with the ability to do this. I didn't have many talents, but this is one that I was just born with, and I just understand the art of selling. I understand one of the things, and I know you understand this too, is being able to explain things in such a way to somebody that they'll be like, okay, this is going to be beneficial to me.
Absolutely.
And everything we do, one of the reasons why for me personally it's such a treat to work for this company, even though it's a family company, is because I know when we put out a product, there's no doubt in my mind in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be life-changing for the customer.
Absolutely. And so here's a great avenue that we get to do as far as with Talking Martelli. So we're going to do a lot of different things moving forward as far as episodes. And we're going to do, basically, we're going to try out a bunch of stuff. Even behind the scenes, you'll never know about it, this, that, and the other. I'll tell you this, and we've already done a lot of them, right? So there'll be 100 things that we check out to one that we bring out.
Yeah, yep. We put a lot of time. That's why
and I'm not even talking about sewing and quilting right now.
That's why I was saying we're importers. We actually import products too, and that's important. No, you can be an importer of products and completely be a disaster for you.
Yep.
If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't take the time to thoroughly vet the products yourself and test them and actually use them for what they're supposed to be used for, there's no way that you can say, okay, this is the. And we're going to cover this at the very end. One of the products is going to be on the show or earbuds today, but I can bring this product out, tell you, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread, it not work. Well, how much more often are you going to listen to me about products if I tell you something's really good,
right,
and it's not good?
And so, and this is the great avenue that we have because over the last 10 years, 20 for you, so 30 years total experience into doing this. So I think we have an understanding of what can be good for somebody.
Very good understanding.
Without having to, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to recommend it.
We do all the work.
We'll recommend it. It's up to you if you want it, but we'll recommend it. But here's another thing. We get to do things that tie into things. So we've got some really cool earbuds, the earphones to show you today, but it's going to roll into something super special because we've got a rock star in the building today. Mr. Tony Pasco is coming in later.
And the thing is, like as far as the products go, all the beta testing has been done, so you can rest assured if we're.
Uh-oh.
And this brings me into a really good point. Nice line. What do they call it? Nice chord. What do they call
Background.
that?
That's a
Tony?
background.
Yeah.
That's
Chord
that's
line.
Tony warming up.
But
one of the background, what we check out and what we go over and try and tested type stuff. Let's do this. We would never put something out in front of our people that we know and that they know and trust us, or the new people that are going to come in. Listen, this is why we want you to go ahead and share this out. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already, and share it out, because this is not just for just y'all. This is for everybody.
And hit the notification bell too. And that's one thing that Brian and I were discussing at the very beginning. Of course, all this stuff costs money. You know, investing in an e-commerce website, setting up a YouTube, having producers come on to be able to do the mics and the live streaming and all that. I'm like, how, you know, we're not ones, Martelli's not ones that ask for handouts. We've never,
Nope.
if anything, we're the ones that do the handing out to help. And that's the way we've always been, and that's one of the reasons why we've been blessed on this show. But one of the ways that we figured out is, you know what, we import a lot of this stuff. Let's do shows, and in our shows incorporate the products that we can. But here's the thing. Give it to the customer at a really, really good price. It's just our way of saying thank you. You get a great product for a really great price. But the thing is, it helps sponsor what we're trying to do.
It's basically a sponsor. That's what it is.
It's a sponsor without having to give money.
We'll go find it. There's only a limited amount. Like this, there's very few.
Yeah.
But I promise you, my wife's tested. Hey, Nicole, if she's watching. And I guess I got to say, hey, Taylor, hey, Peyton. Y'all are on YouTube now, so enjoy it.
YouTube stars.
Yeah. So if y'all are watching YouTube.
Yeah. So I would say hi to my kids, but they get enough at me at home. So I'm certainly sure that
Yeah,
they
but
don't
your
wanna
kids are
listen to me.
terrible.
I know,
Like, they're
I know,
terrible kids.
I know, poor kids. Oh, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, they're absolutely terrible. They're not watching, so we can get away with saying that. But yeah, so point of the whole story, that last story, the last few minutes, is we're going to bring you incredibly, really good imported products. A lot of the times you pay for names that you're not going to have to do, because we've got a product that's as good, if not better, at really good pricing. You're supporting a great cause, and the topic of conversation can be anything, and we get to enjoy you as much as you enjoy us, especially on the Fabric Show. So, brings me to my next point. Once we start getting into the meat and the potatoes of all
Roxanne
these shows,
says, get closer. Man, pull your mic into you,
No.
bud.
I don't want to cover up my pretty face.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
One of the things that we want to talk about is, once we get into the meat and potatoes of this show, we want to be able to have questions come in and comments. So we want to have you involved in this show, and which we'll be doing a lot more of. We're just kind of giving you the ins and outs of the show right now. So this is a great way to get involved.
Yep.
So later on, once we have our special guest, we're going to open up for a little Q&A and have a little fun with Tony.
Yes, be ready.
So we're also going to do some call-ins, and I will give you the number. Once we get the new studio done, we are going to have a direct line so we can do call-ins.
That's
all the
right.
time. But until then, we're going to use my phone.
Notice that, we're still working, we're under construction,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But we could not wait to get this thing started, so we went ahead and just did it on our Fabric Live set. But rest assured, we're going to have a brand new Fabric Live set.
Oh, yeah.
We're also going to have a brand new Talking Martelli set, and it's going to be fantastic.
So get this real quick,
Yes.
just so everybody's, and I'm probably coming out a little prematurely like this, but we're currently,
Yeah.
we took a trip. Let me show you how things work out. It's absolutely insane. So, we're trying to bring a lot of bolts into the store. This is for the sewing and quilting aspect.
Yep.
And it didn't work out. Great gal, just, we're used to certain things for our customers. And
Right.
like I said, we only want the best. So it just didn't work out with this particular case. Well, we ended up making a trip of it and just spent the day golfing. Well, we got paired up. Brian and I got paired up with another couple. Really, really nice lady, nice guy. And they ended up turning us on to a lady that deals with fabric, and she is in the apparel world. Well, anyway, she couldn't help us out. But long story short, we got hooked up with an incredible company that we're possibly in the process of finally being able to come out with our own fabric line.
Weirdly enough, how do we even meet this person?
Well, I know
We were on a conference meeting.
Yes.
The conference meeting happened to be at a golf course.
Yes.
But that's the only place that was open to have a conference,
Yes.
to have our meeting.
Yes.
So everywhere else was closed.
Yes.
So just so y'all know, we weren't out there just
Yeah,
funning around.
We made that trip specifically to find top quality fabric at the best possible pricing that we possibly could. But it worked out. It just shows you the Lord works in mysterious ways.
That's right.
Because without that divine appointment,
That was a God thing right there.
That was a God thing. There's no doubt in my mind that was a God
We
thing.
were so, because we were dejected that we went up there, 25-hour trip back and forth, basically, and then just have nothing to show for it. We said, why don't we treat ourselves to a little game of golf? We happened to bring our golf clubs.
It just happened to.
But so we did that. We meet these wonderful people. If you're out there, Candace and Mr. Jerry, you guys are awesome.
Yeah,
We
you
got
rock.
to the person to meet the person that we're possibly going to be doing a lot of work with, and then that way, only thing it does is carry over to you guys. So that being said, I'm excited, man.
One other thing that I definitely want to mention too. We want to make sure that you are a huge part of this. So I'm going to give my email out. If you have a show topic that you want to talk about,
Absolutely.
we're going to try to schedule these things 6 to 8 weeks out. And if there's a topic that you want to cover, it doesn't have to be so. It can be sewing and quilting related. But let's say you like to golf too, and you want to talk about golf. We're going to try to bring some special guests in here. If it's crafting, maybe it's a sports show. I know I'm working on, if you're watching Emery, I'm working on bringing a friend
Smith.
of mine, Emery Smith, on, who happens to have a brother that's a legend in the NFL. His name
He
is
may
Emmett,
be
so
may be from Pensacola, but
he may
Emery's
be from Pensacola.
Emery's cooler.
Yeah, really good guy.
Just kidding.
But
Love you both.
a lot of really cool things that we want to do. But here's the point. So here's my email address, and I know it's old school. I haven't had really time to change it, nor plus too many people have it. But David, D-A-V-I-D, David Martelli at Hotmail.
Oh!
Dave. David Martelli at Hotmail.
The old Hotmail.
The old Hotmail. So
Man.
if you have a show that you would love to hear or a topic that you would love to talk about, please let us know. This is about you. This is about you. All about you. Just remember that. All about you.
Dave.
Not so much Brian and I, but you.
I still
can-
got bit.
I can barely turn a computer on, man. Hotmail's the best you're going to get out of me, especially with this current situation.
Look at this, that horsefly on the golf course.
It's a runaway zit. But back to the show. Show topic. So my email is davidmartelli@hotmail.com. If you want to talk about something, please just shoot me an email and let me know.
And you, it doesn't matter how many emails you send out.
Graham Terrace, Elta Terrace, my favorite grandmother in the world. She's
Hey!
on. Hey, Graham, good to see you. Thanks for joining our first Talking Martelli. It's great to have you. I hope you were able to hear that story that I plugged in for you at the very beginning. I hope you've been with us from the
Absolutely.
very beginning.
Hey, everybody.
But we sure do love you, that's for sure. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here right now. So
That's right.
we want to thank you for that, Graham T.
We're okay.
Known as Graham T, by the way.
We've got good. We're still on good time. I have a Hotmail account also. Good, Miss Debbie Simmons. All right. Okay, so let's get on to a little bit about what
What we're
we
gonna talk about
found.
today?
Yeah.
Found or what we're going to talk about today? What
Either
the
one,
show's
bud.
about.
Either one.
Okay,
This is
so-
our show. We can do whatever we
Well,
want.
good. So we'll start off doing this. So years ago, we started, I don't even know how it came about, but the whole family for years was talking about, man, if we came up with a reality show, everybody would watch it because we're a bunch of fools and idiots and, we banter back and forth. Of course, it wasn't said that way. But anybody that knows about Italian families, we love hard, we eat hard, we fight hard, and we play hard. But because there's so much personality and there's so much passion in behind everything that the family does, there was talk about doing a reality show. And it wasn't, this is a God thing too, because it wasn't, man, probably 6 months later when we started, the whole first talk about being Martelli came in the works, but we didn't have producers, we didn't know anything about it. And then, our special guest that we're going to have on today, it was a blessing because he knew a lot about it because that's
Yeah.
what he did. So
And we're going to find out a lot about that. We'll let him tell you,
Yeah.
Tony tell you about that. It's fascinating because he played a couple of, I don't know
were
what
some
even
of the
say,
shows?
like
What
a,
were some of the shows? Tell me some of the shows. We had, hey, Tony, you're sitting right there. Just give me some of the shows
So,
real
well,
quick. We had Cake Boss.
Duck
Duck
Dynasty,
Dynasty.
which has got to be my favorite one.
Parolees.
Pit Bulls. So my wife Nicole watches Pit Bulls and
Brian
Parolees.
actually starred on that one. He was in that outlet, Pit Bulls and Parolees.
No, I wasn't on parole yet.
Oh, that was before
Most
parole.
importantly, being Martelli.
Being Martelli.
Being Martelli.
We're going to kind of hold that one out. That's the big shebang that we're going to talk about, being Martelli.
Yeah, I wasn't on that one. I don't know why.
So a lot of knowledge. So think about this for a second, right? A lot of knowledge that we didn't have. We always talked about it. We always, and a matter of fact, this was so long ago. At that time, I thought this was during the time where they were having the reality shows where they were doing the contests and kicking people off. Different shows doing different contests.
Right? Yeah.
So this was back in, I want to say 2002, 2003. I was telling my mom, I was like, man, love my voice. We could do a quilt show. We could have 10 teams, and they can go, and we could film them. And it was way back then when the whole reality thing kicked in.
Well, and the reality thing is still like super. I mean, obviously now it's
everyday life.
thriving.
Well, it's everyday life. People want to see real, genuine people.
That's right.
That's what they want to
And
see.
I
Movies
think,
are cool.
But I mean, back in the day, the reality show, like what was the first one, Jimmy? Like, what was that?
Survivor?
The MTV
Oh, yeah,
Real World. So the Real World, I was as a kid fascinated by it. I watched every episode. Okay, and it's relayed into now you've got like real live podcasts and video casts, and now you've got YouTubers that are like making millions of dollars. Like I'll tell you this: you see my iPhone. If I don't know how to do something on my iPhone, I'll get on YouTube. I promise you, some 8-year-old showing me how to do it.
Or you ask Siri. Siri will tell you.
Yeah, Siri doesn't. No, Siri doesn't like me.
The Siri on my phone's kind of dumb. She doesn't know as much as other people. Either that or it's the guy holding the phone. It's one or the other. I want to say it's Siri, but it's truthfully it's probably the guy holding Siri. But
yeah, it's
be that as it may, it's come a long way.
not
Movies
Siri.
are movies, and they're exactly that. But reality TV, people want to see what you get, and I think what's one of the reasons why people love to tune in to watch our fabric sales, because you don't know what you're getting. Yeah, they're buying fabric. But
let me
it's
tell
also
you,
a form
we
of
don't.
entertainment.
There's no like show notes.
Never.
Here. Let me. This is the notes I got.
Yeah.
That's a show note. Okay, you get this? I want to see this. Look, this is a show note.
Yeah.
That's 0 on there. I've got to have Tony sign this later because I think what we're going to do when we have a special guest on, we'll have him sign the card and we'll keep we'll pin them up and we'll have that. You good with that, Tony? Yeah.
Point is,
He said something about it's going to cost me $10. It's well worth it.
Nothing scripted, off the cuff, and that's one of the reasons
Buck's
why
a buck, ain't it right?
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why we want to get everybody else involved, because this could be. It's not just to sit here and listen to Dave and Brian time. And this is so much more than that. It's a way where we can.
It's 80%.
Well, more so than Dave and
At
Brian.
least,
but,
yeah.
But anyways, that's what this is all about. So going back to Tony, going back full circle, we didn't have that knowledge. We knew what direction we wanted. We knew what we had in our mind. But putting something from your mind to a piece of paper, or putting something.
Two different total things. We thought of this months ago. I mean, beginning of the year, we were saying, how cool would it be to just let's get to do something? Yeah, let's do a podcast. And then when it, when the rubber hits the road, it's not that easy, is it?
No,
this was a difficult process.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, we're so well known in the sewing and quilting world. We are extremely well known. But I'm like, Dad. I talked to my dad and my mom. I'm like, Mom, we have so many other things. Well, I know, Dave, but we don't want to take from the quilting. Well, absolutely not. We don't want to take from the quilting, but we also want to, this is more than creating revenue. It does create another revenue stream, but it's so much more than that. We have so many good products that we can offer to the world and different people that do different things. What a better way to do it than to be able to talk about different things.
And then invite new people in to talk about different things. That's right.
And then include, if you can, include the products.
So and here's another thing with Tony being here. There's no way we get to realize because there's going to be some stuff I learned a lot today, but there's no way for me to know that in our Fabric Live.
No,
we're not going to get that. That Fabric Live is and it's a rocking place in there, by the way.
Yeah.
But
If you
this
haven't
is
joined
something
it-
where I can learn and grow and learn about what he does and how difficult it is for what he does.
Oh man, I've learned so much.
Let me tell you something. He's got an
Yeah.
outstandingly beautiful guitar he's got brought with him.
Yeah. Tony's a champ when it comes to
Yes.
that
Watch
type of
this.
stuff.
Hold on, Amy. Good old Amy Zellers. Hey Siri, what is 0 divided by 0?
I'm just going to throw that out there. Is it 2? Maybe 7.
Did you break her?
Imagine that you have 0 cookies, and you split them evenly among 0 friends. How many cookies does each person get? See,
think
it
that's
doesn't make
0.
sense.
Yeah.
And Cookie Monster is sad that there are no cookies.
Cookie Monster.
And your friends are sad because they don't exist. Oh wow, this
Cookie
escalated
Monster.
quickly.
Well, Amy told me to do it, and you know how Amy likes to zing it every year, every week with me.
Amy Zeller sent some Amy Zingers, and man, were they good. Although I only got one because everybody else got to eat them all. But we're trying to lose some weight. Well, Dave's trying to lose some weight around here. I can tell you that. So the Zingers were awesome. But
My wife Nicole says, "Why are you on your phone?" I was doing something for Amy. I got in trouble already.
Oh, that's
I'm
how
not
it
even home
works.
yet.
That's how it works.
But
All right.
okay, so we want to get to these. I think we get to these after we talk with.
Yeah, we're gonna get this.
This is
towards the
super
very
cool.
end.
We got 4 minutes.
Okay,
We got some time to
All right,
to do whatever.
Get the handsome crew.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, by the way-
Definitely can't forget about Dave, Jimmy. They're the camera guys, and they do an extremely good job every single week. So we're grateful for
Sandra
them.
Price wants to say hey to you guys.
Hey, Miss Sandra.
Hey everybody.
They're official. They're on Facebook, so we
Yeah.
got Facebook, YouTube. Everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so welcome.
Yeah, if you're watching, just let us know, because one of the things that we're really trying to do is build up the YouTube aspect of this, because it's a bigger platform. And more
Well,
people
and I think if
watching.
they've watched the Fabric, they know why.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
We're going to transition.
And that's a process too. So we're trying to get everybody out there, trying to get them transitioned as well, or they can watch it on either or. I mean, that's always good too, as long as one or both are cooperating and working properly. That's the big thing.
Yeah. We're always trying to get the right platform for everybody.
Man, yeah, because everybody has different needs.
And you know what? Hey, get there. So this is growing pains right now, right? So we're gonna lock this down, and we're gonna get a lot more smoother. I know I'm already at that smooth level. We're gonna get Dave a little bit better.
We're
and
gonna work on Dave for sure.
we will definitely work on Dave.
Never
So
been in front of a
what I
camera.
really want to work is a little bit more,
I don't have any chest hair.
like more cowbell. We want more chest.
No, that's not gonna happen. My chest done filled to my drawers. Yeah, there was a day. Thank you.
Oh.
That's good.
And we may get into that one day.
Yeah.
Not
Health and
this.
wellness.
Not this week. We'll do it when we'll have dancing week.
Yes.
So
Not dancing.
dancing
We're
queen.
gonna have health and wellness week, so much more than dancing queen. All right, so we are getting close to the break, and then when we
Well,
come
I know
back-
when we'll do it.
What's in?
We'll do it next St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that sounds good. St. Patrick's Day is good. All right, so we are gonna take
Those
a quick
who know,
break.
know. Yep.
We're
Okay.
gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we are gonna finally get our special guest Tony Pasco on, and we have a lot of fun things that we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
with Tony.
we'll get the full hour with them.
But most importantly,
It's gonna
Tony
be
doesn't know this, but Tony's going to sing us a little jingle, and the jingle is going to come from you. So I'll have my phone on me on the
So
next
those that
round.
are on and you're watching, think of a line that we want, and we're going to tell you when to do it. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. And we're going to create a little mini song, and he'll create a brand new.
He's gonna
what do you
play-
call that? Well,
yeah,
we'll find out.
will he
Riff
play
or
the chord or what is it?
or
It's got-
jingle. We'll do a jingle.
He's going to play a jingle, but we're going to make up the words.
Let's
When I
try to
say
make
we're-
it. Let's try to make it into a new, like a cool way to help the show, the podcast out. Any subject at all doesn't matter. We don't have to stay in sewing quilting. Let's
It's
get
gonna
outside
be-
the box.
It's going
a
to
little
be an ad lib. So what I want you to do over the break, because at the very
bit. You
end
can
we
make
have
fun of
Tony.
Dave,
You can make fun of me. You can make fun of Brian. You can
Jimmy.
put,
We can do creepy Jimmy in there at least.
You can put creepy Jimmy's name in there if you want. You can do anything you want, but just think of a little one-liner that we can put
Yep.
into a little jingle so Tony can play the chord, and we're going to make Tony sing the jingle for
Yeah,
you.
and we'll write it down and we'll get it all written down. But
So be thinking, because you're going to have to put it in the comment
what we got? How long we got, Dave? A minute? 2 minutes?
section. And then,
We'll be about 3 to 5 minute break. You'll see the little thing up there. The stream won't go off, will it?
Nope, just stay on.
and here's the other thing, too. After we ask Tony a few questions, we have a little fun with Tony, and then we play his jingle, and he has to ad-lib, too. The last thing I want to do is set up some time for Q&A at the very end.
Yes.
This is a really good way for you to be able to ask us stuff and us to be able to have a little bit of fun with you and you participate in this too, because at the end of the day, this show is about you. Yes, it's talking Martelli, but the biggest thing that I want to grow this, I want to, and I know as it gets bigger, it's going to be harder and harder, but while we have you now, we want to do questions and answers, and that's a good way. You can ask Brian things, myself things, and of course our special guests too. So we want you to not just be thinking of the little jingle, but also questions that you might want to be asking.
Quickly, while you think about that, Brian, where'd you get the shirt? I can't reveal my secrets.
I can tell you the thrift store.
The I hate you.
You got a good deal. for
Brian ate the cookies. I feel the love. Yeah, more people are leaving FB.
Yes.
And YouTube is a better medium, that's for sure.
Yep.
Amy Zeller's has switched. Jill Cunningham has switched. We're going to switch.
Yeah, we're going to try to make.
I promise you. We, Jimmy, are we, Dave, we know how much we enjoy it.
You know, right now, for the first time ever, we're broadcasting on both simultaneously.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
moving
you know
forward.
what? We're moving forward too.
We're moving forward.
All right, ladies.
Okay,
and
we
gentlemen,
gotta
are gonna
take a quick break.
Quick break, and we are going to be right back with our guest, Tony Pasco.
Tony Pasco coming up.
Be back
Don't
here
leave.
shortly.
Don't leave. We'll be right back shortly. Hey, everybody.
And welcome back.
I think we're back.
Hey,
Yay!
hey.
We are back, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. So guess what? Oh, hey, we got a new guest here. And we want to welcome Tony Pasco
He's
in the house.
Yes, Tony Pasco. So, really quickly, Tony, let me ask you this. So, I know we've already mentioned it. You weren't on the screen yet, but for our viewing audience that don't know you, many of them do know you. I know you've made some special guests with us before, but tell them the shows that you've been a part of and how you got about becoming part of those shows. Let's start off with that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back to Duck Dynasty. I mean, that's kind of the hit.
Hold on. Can everybody hear Tony okay? Just to make sure?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Tony, sorry.
No, that's fine. It's really started with Duck Dynasty, and how that came about was I got signed to a record label to do a record, and I was living in Mississippi, and my record label, the guys are the rock band Warrant from the 80s.
Yeah.
They own my record label, and so they...
How cool is that?
That is
Yeah.
the fun fact.
Yeah, so that's how it got started. So they called me up and said, would you write some stuff? I did a record and it failed horribly and stuff, but all the music on that record they ended up licensing to like TV shows.
That's
and stuff.
great.
So I was like, okay, this is cool. And they pay, so it's money.
But you got to do a record.
Yeah, well, it failed.
Well, Brian can relate to the failure part.
Oh, it's terrible.
Absolutely can relate
Nobody
to the failure
liked it,
part.
But it made
I'm
sense
great
for
in the
TV.
car by myself.
I can sing in the shower, I'm
It
just
did
saying.
good for
So-
TV. So they told me it was a hunting show, and A&E just picked it up, and they were going into their second season, and they said, "Would you write a bunch of music from where you live?" And look, they're thinking some guy from Mississippi, but I'm really from Chicago. And
Right.
I'm just living in Mississippi.
He's a paisan from Chicago.
Yeah, so,
huh?
so little did they know.
Yeah.
Pizza pie!
This Italian guy from Chicago is going to be writing this music for this hunting show based in Louisiana. So I just started playing. I pick up.
Let me tell you something. Y'all that know Duck Dynasty, if you don't know that, you ain't never watched the show.
So you do that. You record it. Yeah,
That is the iconic sound.
which is real Mississippi. Real true old school Mississippi kind of thing.
I can just see Psy coming on right now.
Well,
With his-
and
with
that's
his
what ended
teeth.
up happening is you write these little things, you send them in, you don't hear anything back, nobody cares, or you think nobody cares, and then you get a call one day and they're like, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, you got to start watching A&E. There's this show called Duck Dynasty, and your music is all over it. So I'm like, okay.
And you're like,
So-
well, thanks for the
So,
message.
Yeah, so we started doing that show, and then by season 4, and that was season 2, by season 4, it debuted, and I was happy, just being an employed musician, it was great. But then
Not knowing
all of a sudden,
how crazy this is about to get.
11.8 million people watched the first episode of season 4 of Duck Dynasty.
That's a little bit lower than the people that are watching this one.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the time, it broke a cable record. It was the most watched.
I know I
reality
was
TV
one of
show.
them, bud.
Yeah, on TV. So that opened up floodgates.
Also, I have a question. I don't want to rudely interrupt you
No,
here,
no,
but
But you did. Go
how
ahead.
do you? Well, if I don't, then I'll never remember the question. This is important.
That is true.
So, my question to you is how you wrote that without knowing the personalities. How much easier is it, or how much does it come into play when you write a jingle for a show without with knowing the personalities and B, without? I mean, how do you put it in your mind and
It's 50-50 because, and I'll say why. Because sometimes when you know a person, that clouds what you would play.
so is it better or worse?
So sometimes when you don't know somebody and you see how an editor puts a certain track under somebody, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I
get it,
that.
I get it,
Yeah, I
yeah.
get
See.
it. So sometimes it's a blessing to not know. But
And that one was.
Yeah.
Like you had not met
no, I didn't
anybody.
meet
You
any
didn't
of
even
them.
know it was on.
No, none of them. And then it blew up into this huge thing. Well, then once it became what it was, and
Then
there's
your
so-
name was known.
Yeah, and then that's the
How
scary
quickly,
part.
Tony?
People start finding you. 'Cause
So,
I-
like,
'cause I'm
even
thinking,
after episode 1,
throughout those seasons, all of a sudden people start finding you on social media and reaching out to you and stuff, and I'm like, I just play guitar on some little...
it's like, but
show,
but you got to be like,
love it.
you're loving it though.
But well, that's what you want as a musician. You want your music heard. You want to get
Right.
out there. So here, this forum, TV, all of a sudden, millions of people are hearing my music every week. And you're not prepared for it.
Well, let me ask you-
Multi-millions.
Yeah, you
I-
And then
gotta be
internationally
prepared
too.
Yeah.
for it. Well, now, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I've
now.
never asked you this, and this is going to be the first time for Dave Martelli here in this too. So your involvement, how did you really get involved with Martelli? What made you being someone that's already been successful,
Excuse me.
take on a project with a family that nobody knows, and take on a project of this magnitude to be able to bring a family that nobody knows to the forefront playing music? What brought you to that place that you wanted to do that, and how did you?
Where was its infancy at?
Well, what happened was we got tired of living in Mississippi. We started coming down here to the
Come on,
beaches.
let's go, y'all.
Yeah, every weekend we'd escape Mississippi and came here.
Hallelujah there.
And my wife finally, one day, we were on the beach and she's like, well, why can't this be our life? Why can't we live here? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have to live in Mississippi to do this, you know. So
And see, like, where's those guys are? So you were writing it out of Mississippi, but those guys are what? They're
Louisiana.
in Louisiana. Oh, that's
Louisiana,
right.
yeah.
In Monroe, that's
In
right.
Monroe, yeah.
But you've got to be in that area. So
yeah, it's similar. It's only a few hours, but I did get to finally meet them, and
Yeah.
I played in Monroe, and you know they had a big Christmas fest. This is a fun
at
story.
the Duck Commander place.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Well, they took over the whole town, and they did a big Robertson Christmas festival thing, and they asked me to play. Well, I show up, and everybody, I didn't realize this, but the whole, like, what do they call it, Chamber of Commerce
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
over there, and they're like,
Ribbon cutters.
yeah, they're like telling everybody, well, this is the guy who wrote the music, and then all of a sudden I started hearing my music through the whole town.
Oh, wow.
Because of the show,
Yeah.
you know, and then you walk into Duck Commander, and they're playing the episodes on the TVs everywhere.
And
yeah, and all of a sudden
go
everyone's
ahead. What did
"That's
it
the
sound
guy,
like
that's
again?"
the guy, and you know, all of a sudden you're just like, what am I the guy
So-
of? What is this?
but how do you
thing?
go
Well,
from
play
something-
something? And it's
So
like,
you
all
get
right,
so
yeah.
all right. So
How you go from something like that? How do you go from something like that to going to, like I said, starting from scratch?
So the wife brought-
producing, to doing something new when you're already an accomplished music writer.
Well,
So that's
hap-
what people want to
right.
know.
Well, and meeting you guys, I'll tell you that's I love telling this story because when we came down here, of course, you guys were already, you know, had it, you know, in your minds. I think we could do this. I think we could have our own show. And you guys had hired another between us, you know.
Yes.
But the guy from the old production company, through a friend of a friend kind of thing, said, hey, you know, the guy that wrote the music for Duck Dynasty lives in Pensacola now. And then he reached out to me saying, I have this family that we're going to do a reality show. Would you do the music for that show? And I said, okay, you know. So that's when I met you guys. And it became so obvious. Maybe it's an Italian.
It's Italian. It's a
thing.
paisan
You know,
thing.
we hit it off.
A
you know,
pizza
your
pie!
Your mom made some sauce. And you made her meatballs.
She made the
and, you
meatballs,
know, I
huh?
fell in love, and then bada boom, bada bing, it's over. You know, and the rest is history, right? But what I did see is when we had to get rid of the other production company, they were obviously not a good fit. They weren't going to get you guys on TV,
Right.
you know, at all. So, but I've never taken that role. I'm
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
director or a producer like that. I've seen it happen, you know, but I'm a music guy. So, but what I did see was meeting the Robertsons and then meeting you guys. I'm like, this is just an Italian version of that show.
You are
Because
not kidding
you guys
there.
were as natural as I saw them, and I'm like, well, if we put some cameras on them, a lot of times with people, they think they're funny until you put a camera in front
Yeah,
of them,
yeah,
and their
yeah.
whole personality goes
Change.
away.
changes.
So it takes a different kind of person to really ignore
Yeah.
completely
The cameras.
that there's a camera
Yeah,
there,
yeah, absolutely.
and allow whatever people like about you to still be there.
Mhm.
And you guys had that. And the other thing I saw, the one thing I got from Duck Dynasty, by this time Duck Dynasty just ended and you know was going into syndication, and I waited a little bit. And nothing was taking its place. I didn't see the next Duck Dynasty. I didn't see any spin-offs, even though they did one spin-off that was horrible. I
It
did use
didn't
the
happen.
show,
Yeah,
too.
it was like a
that
side
terrible.
thing. Yeah.
But anyway, and they didn't use my good music. They used
That's
Well,
why.
that,
it
that
needs-
canceled the show right
There
there.
it is.
Ruined the show.
See, we know the secrets.
But anyway, you know, they did use some. But when I saw you guys and your faith and how you were as a family, I thought, you know what? The one thing people always approached me about was this is when I was with Duck Dynasty. They're like, that's the one show on TV where my whole family can watch it. I
Yep.
can turn
I was
it
just
on.
about to talk about the family
Yeah.
dynamics of having good
they-
TV.
And
yeah.
I can't tell you how many grandparents came up to me and said, now I have something in common with my grandkids. We
Yeah.
could talk about Cy
Yeah.
and Phil and all the guys, you know, or I could put it on TV, put my kids in the living
That's
room,
right.
go in the kitchen and not worry
Not worry about
something,
the some bad
Yeah.
being said or
that-
something inappropriate.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
and you always get a good message after
yeah,
it too.
yeah,
So
and then they would pray at the end and everything, which is always a
Absolutely.
fun thing. So I thought, well, since nobody's picking up on the fact that they just left this huge hole in programming, and that's what I thought, So, and when I saw you guys, I'm like, well, when we did the pilot, that was my only goal. As you remember,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, let's not reinvent the wheel here. We don't have to make them anything that they're not supposed to be. Just let them be them. We'll turn on some cameras.
Put a camera and let them be.
We'll joke around, have a little bit of fun. We'll do, 22.5-minute pilot, send it out. And that's what I did. And when we did the pilot, we sent it out. And the thing about your family, though, and what you're going to see on Being Martelli throughout any episode, you can't fabricate something that's not there.
Yeah.
That's-
You said that since day one.
Yeah,
That's what you've said since day one.
You can't do it because it comes off false,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of ruins what you built here.
Well, that was part of the problem with the first production team.
Yes.
Something was trying to be forced.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Argue
there.
with him.
Yeah,
Here.
You
you
throw
say
something
her.
at her.
Yeah,
and
and
Say
you call
this,
her
and
this,
it's like,
was so
let
scripted.
me tell you something. If
And
you
what's
ask
wrong?
David
I don't
Martelli to say a script, you are going to have 16 takes,
Oh, at least, and that's on a good day.
and that is the same thing with
Let me come off naturally. Let me say what I'm going to say the best
I
way
can't
can
do
say
it.
and it will be so much more successful than
Yep.
the dog
Just like
ate my
with
homework.
your music,
know?
you naturally have to. It's almost better not to know the person because you
In
can
a way.
feel something in that
you
way.
can come up
Yeah,
with something much
Yeah.
easier. Then you don't have that personal connection.
So now that we've gotten this far, I definitely want to ask you this too. And this
Hey,
is a
Danny
fir-
Graham. So, hey, Danny
and
Wellingsworth.
This is a first time for me hearing this as well, folks. So we've already completed season 1, right? And it's already been actually broadcast. I can't remember the network.
Uplift.
Uplift. Yeah. So can you tell us and some of the audience too what has been some of the feedback thus far and how we got to move networks and why we? I don't know what you're allowed to say and what you're not because I personally don't even know. So I'm gonna ask you to take it in that
Sure.
direction.
Okay.
So what has been the response to season number 1 and where are we going and what is our future goal and future plans for Being Martelli? Go ahead. Take the floor. It's yours.
Well, originally when we were aired on Uplift TV, they got sold halfway through our first season.
I do
So
remember
we
that.
actually didn't finish our first season, which ended up working in our favor. Like you guys were talking about before, kind of a God thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's amazing how he works. We're now going to be May 1st. We got a new network, and we're going to be streaming on PureFlix. And PureFlix, if you don't know, is the Christian Netflix.
So once again,
Huge,
everybody, if you're listening,
beautiful audience.
Pure Flicks.
Yes, PureFlix. Being Martelli debut season 1. You can binge watch it.
Is it going to
it'll
start
all be
from
up May 1st?
Is it going to start over or
Yes, you can
start
watch
at
the
the
whole-
episode
no,
7? I think we
You
cut
can
off.
watch
at.
all 13 episodes
Awesome.
of season 1, however you want to watch them, in any order you want to
Yeah,
watch
because I was missing the show
Yeah.
that we were on. They filmed Danny and I going up there.
No, I
yeah,
did not know
you're
that.
in it. We got you in it.
Yeah.
You're in the background a little bit, but
Yeah.
we'll fix that. But,
Thanks, bud.
But yeah, so we're on this new network.
Got to know a guy.
And what's great about this being on this network is I think they share a lot of your audience. A lot of your
Yeah.
customers are also a PureFlix audience. So the overlay I think is going to work in our favor as a TV show.
Yeah.
The other nice thing is
How did we go? Let me. not
So
to
you're
interrupt
saying
you,
our
but how
people are
did-
good people?
How did we
They're
go?
nice.
How did we go from Uplift to PureFlix? Because I don't even know
Your
the story.
mom.
Okay, so tell me because I
I
don't
got
even
us
know.
on there, but it was your mom because even before when I was looking at networks, and you send out the reels, and of course I'm telling everybody they're the Italian Duck Dynasty, that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. And we did have a lot of offers. We had a lot of interest in stuff. But it's amazing with TV, especially cable. Maybe that's why cable's dying and everything's going
Yeah.
to streaming now.
Yeah.
Yes.
is
Yeah.
They love your show, but they want to change everything about it that they love about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so we ran into that where we got into negotiations on a major big network, and they said we love your show, but
yeah,
change everything that's good about it.
Yeah.
You can't say this,
Yeah.
you can't say that, we can't show this, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, what's
So-
left?
yeah. You
There's
can't
nothing-
pray. You can't. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not. It's not the show anymore.
No,
No, it's
yeah,
changing to be
everything that
something
people
it's not.
loved about it went away. And what you were saying about the feedback, that was the one feedback we kept getting from people that did watch it is, this is a real family. You
Yeah.
put a real family, like they got that sense with the Robertsons. They're a real family.
And,
You know what I mean?
And it
shame
only
on
got
them.
it only got better
Well, they
with
don't
each
know. That's what
season.
that is what, in my humble opinion, that is what America is yearning for. They want family fun, and a lot of shows that you can't get that.
And you don't have to be perfect.
No,
People
no.
make mistakes,
Yeah.
but but you have to have resolve.
Yes.
And you have to see a
You're
family
talking to two of them.
that comes together. Right. Well,
Yeah.
but so much that's on TV right now is they get to the fight.
Is crap.
And then they shoot to the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they insult everybody
Yeah.
for
Yep,
30
yep.
minutes, and then there's never any resolve, and then they have that whatever makeup show or whatever the
Yes.
resolve show
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of the season.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that
Yeah,
now.
this
I mean,
isn't that. So what we have is 13 episodes of season 1 of really getting to know who the Martellis are as a family as a whole, what the business is, you know, the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
And what's so great about the Martelli family, I mean, and they're vast, as you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a Martelli too, so you understand that there's so many, telling that story was not easy in 13 episodes. So that's why
It's
you
not enough,
No,
yeah.
that's why the network, they watched the first season, they put us up and said, so when are you shooting season 2?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
So all of a sudden now we're like,
Yeah.
well, we still
Well,
have more
season two.
story. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got more story to tell. There was so much that we didn't get into season
Yeah, yeah,
1.
yeah.
Well, now it's going to be easy. And there's other stuff like in season 1, how you tell a story, and with being Martelli is, you know, you get to your certain characters, and maybe they get a little more screen time than others, and this and that, right? Like that. But the good thing about that is that when we go into season 2, people are coming back and they want to see a little bit more of that guy
Yeah.
because they didn't get to see him here.
Yep.
You know, or all of a sudden something happens in the world, like the whole world changed on us
Right.
since we did
Yeah,
season
yeah.
1.
there's a different.
Well, now we
yes.
have topics to talk about
Yep.
we didn't have a year ago. How you guys saved Martelli Enterprises. The way you guys are doing, I don't know if people out there even realize this.
Yeah.
The way these guys do business today is completely different how you did it a year ago.
Well, we had to
Absolutely.
change gears, and I
And
know
that's
it was
not easy to do.
Well, it
No.
was the whole entire company. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
had I had to transition. Me and Brian personally had to transition to you know start moving some fabric. We had to take our virtual our regular trade shows, and we had to turn those into virtual trade shows. We had to take find extra income by doing retreats. That is, and you know. Of course, we had some, you know, the first few we had here in person, but as the world changed, we had to gear up to start doing those virtuals. So a lot of things changed, but it was, I kind of got the sense, to me, this is my own personal feeling now, I get the kind of sense it's sink or swim. You know, here's what you have to do, either do it or go out of business.
But a lot of companies that have been in business for 20 years, like you guys have, and had success, it's hard to stop on a dime. This is a big machine. This
Well,
is a big
let-
ship.
let me
It's hard
be-
to stop and turn
Let
around.
me
can't-
be very
yeah.
clear about this, and I'm speaking. I'm probably speaking for my whole family, but I'm definitely speaking for myself right now. There was several nights that went by that I was on my hands and knees. I can't. I was like, I can't do this. I'm scared to death. People are making paychecks. We have people that depend on their livelihood by Martelli paychecks. Brian was one of them. Lord, what can I do personally? What can we do together to be able to make sure that this is sustain? At least not only has the Lord had made sure that we have been sustained, He's also I don't know how to even put this. He's allowed us to grow bigger.
Yeah.
When we thought that we were going to go under, He's taken lemons and made lemonade out of it because we wouldn't
And
even
we're all
know
closer.
to do this.
Yeah.
You know,
We have
we
to
all
be.
we all pulled together, and because it was just
Well-
us, nobody else was caring. So, but that's the cool thing about just the Martelli family.
It's-
you know what I
it's-
mean. We all become Martellis.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
extended
That's it.
family.
We're yeah.
It's
we.
amazing. how you-
Martelli's a title. That's
Your
what it
family-
is.
That's
It's a
all it
title.
is.
It's
Because
a
you know
giant
your family when you know your family.
Yeah,
like
it's a title.
It's a neat thing though that how
it's a neat dynamic. isn't
yeah
it?
how they just
We may
pull
not have that
everybody in.
last name of Martelli, but I promise you, I bet we've been here long enough to know.
And everybody.
Yeah, we're invited to
They-
every
and they
dinner.
love
if
you
want.
like
That's
you,
right.
you know.
And here's the crazy
And they'll
thing.
argue with you like you're.
Everybody has their niche in what they're good at.
That's right.
Because it takes more than one person.
Absolutely.
It takes an entire team to be able to run an entire company to do so many
It's a
different
village.
things.
Well, like a TV
100%.
show,
You can't
know?
do this alone.
It takes cameramen and editors and a director. and,
It
you
takes
know,
manufacturing.
you know,
It takes the plan over there. It
some-
takes
some
putting things
individual-
together.
Wholesale,
It takes-
resale, manufacturing, distribution,
It's
and
every-
then online. It's it takes a whole thing.
a lot.
You know, I do want to mention
And music.
this too. So definitely the music. So when Tony first set up the meeting with the PureFlix guy, I forgot who it is, and I can't remember whose name. Was it the producer or who was the guy that we talked to? He introduced us to. Great guy, but his vision, even his vision for the show. If you would have stuck your head off, and put it on his body while he was talking, I literally thought it was the vision that we had. when we met, I don't know if you remember, when we were over here and we were on the computer, we were talking on the computer.
Yeah.
And his vision for the show, of course, was our vision. But when he was talking about things or directions that they want to go, it sounded like everything we had already been talking about.
They totally get it.
It was identical. So that's another God thing. I mean, there's no
we're
way.
blessed to have them.
Oh,
They got
absolutely.
it right away. I sent them the sizzle reel. What's funny was I didn't know anybody there. This is why I credit your mom.
Yeah.
Because your mom kept saying, well, what about Pure Flake? What about? And I'm like, oh, I don't know anybody there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I cold called one day because your mom said, for
I don't know how she does it, but you can
third or
throw my
fourth
mom out
time.
a 10-story window, face down, catapult. She lands on her feet, and she just everything she does.
And
turns
walks
to
back
gold.
up and
Yeah.
But you
Well,
know,
but your turn.
she has this personality where you don't want to disappoint her
Yeah.
ever.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Right? I mean, so it's like, okay,
She's soft-spoken
Marsha.
until it's
Yes,
time not to be
all right.
soft-spoken.
So I
love you, Miss Marcia.
cold called Pure Flix, and I
From my mom's request?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so I
Another
just
lucky one, Mom.
I
Another lucky
introduced
one. That's all I'm
myself,
gonna say.
And I talked to the nicest lady who was the receptionist. And she's like, well, your show sounds nice. I'm like, it is nice. We're a nice family, you know. And she's like, well, I'll email it to me. I'll forward it to whoever. And I'm thinking, okay, here's
Well, you've
the,
heard
here
that.
we go.
Here's
the Hollywood.
here's the
whole thing,
rigmarole,
yeah.
the-
So I did, though. I followed up. I
The
said,
filing
"It's nice
cabinet."
to meet you, nice to talk to you. And I sent her the sizzle reel. Well, later that night, I'm telling you, the guy who's the head of programming at PureFlix.
Is that the guy we met?
Yeah, called
That's
me
so-
up that night, said,
Wow.
hey, I just watched your pilot, it's fantastic. Tell me you have a whole season of this.
Are
I'm
you
like,
kidding me?
Yeah, that's how it came about. I mean, it was...
Mom, another good job.
You know. It's
a
I'm
God
not gonna
thing.
call this one lucky. Good job, Mom.
let's do something real quick. All right, give me something. Okay, so we got just a few more minutes before we go to break. Take 5 minutes.
Okay.
Quick spin. So Duck Dynasty, real quick. Something.
Something from Duck Dynasty?
Just
Well, because
Obviously they'll know.
Mississippi and stuff, so you have a lot...
that's it right there. All right. Cake Boss.
I actually didn't do music for Cake Boss.
No. Pitbulls and Pearls. I'm sorry.
Pitbulls and Parolees?
I said
Cake Boss
I
was
wrong.
on. Yeah. I don't know
I'm
why.
sorry. I said Cake
What
Boss
it?
earlier. I was wrong. My apologies.
Pitbulls
on
and
that.
Parolees, now...
We do our research before we have
they
special
want
guests
to do all
on.
those sad dog stories, so everything is...
So Nicole, watch this. Nicole loves this show. And you can feel the emotion.
For those that have not watched, being Martelli, hit the chord. It's starting to get in my soul now.
So that's like Pitbulls and Parolees.
Yeah.
And then, of course, for Martelli
Yeah.
stuff, we're doing...
There it is.
Awesome. That is it.
And what about, do you remember your grizzle for the start of the show here?
I don't actually. I wrote that so
He
long
wrote
ago.
us like 6
Well,
I asked him, I go, hey, can you play that? He goes, Brian, I've only done 1,000.
No, literally. Well,
Or more.
I've done over 20, 25, 26 TV shows.
Yeah, so-
it's thousands of tracks you do.
Is that- wait, hold on.
I can't really.
Is that all?
All of them.
That's all you've ever done?
Yeah.
26
So
TV shows.
before we take a break, I want to try to put this in everybody's thought process before we take a break. So when we come back, we're going to put Tony on the spot. Okay, we're going to have him. And this is where you
Hold on.
come in. Hold on, this is where
I've
everybody
got
else comes
6
in.
lines here to fill in.
Yep, we have 6 lines to fill in. So I want everybody to be thinking over the break of maybe 6 to 10 words. Put it in a little sentence, and we're going to have
Just
Tony.
a line of a song.
It could be anything. It could be
Like, blame
could
it
be-
all on my roots.
the dog,
That's it.
Or the dog jumped over the moon. Whatever you want to say, we're going to do an ad-lib song. So
We're not
think about
copying Garth
that.
Brooks.
And then here's the other thing. Make sure we're going to do some Q&A when you get back. So if you have anything that we just discussed throughout the program, it could be about anything that we talked about.
And you know what? We may do if it's okay with, we may do if we get, because time's flying with this guy.
Yeah.
Tony's awesome, and then just to hear stories, the Q&A, it may run over just a little bit. Do a little bit of kind of bonus, but a little 10-minute maybe. We'll find out, but if we can. But this is going to be super fun coming up on the next one. I can't wait. You're going to create a new song, and it may be our hook.
I like it. So, ladies
Did I
and
say
gentlemen,
that right, Tony? I heard it.
you are not going to want to miss this. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we will be right back with the man, the myth, and the legend,
Tony Pasco. We'll see you back at Talking Martelli.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining
Welcome
us
back.
here on Talking Martelli, and we are in segment 3. We are going to take just a few minutes, and we have gotten a story from Tony Pasco. It's been incredible. Something I didn't know that I just found out. We are going to do a giveaway at the end of today's program. We have a signed CD by Tony Pasco himself.
2 of them, bud.
Yeah, with the Tony Pasco pick on the back side. So we are going to be doing a giveaway towards the end. But before we do the giveaway, let's get into some Q&A really quickly, and then let's get right into the song jingle. So I gave you the entire break to figure out one-liners. So we're going to come up with 6 one-liners. We're going to have Tony play a jingle, and
And Brian's going to sing it.
nope, Tony's going to sing it. We're going to have Tony sing it.
Okay, here we go.
So go ahead.
My
I'm on. I
terrible-
happen to be on Facebook right now, and I am looking for the one-liners. Well, it just kicked me off Facebook.
Now, just to kind of clarify a little bit, with a lot of this stuff, when you're writing stuff for TV, everything's about tempo. So sometimes certain lines, when they come in, you know, you got to see the way people talk.
Okay.
People talk in a certain pattern.
Okay.
And that usually dictates.
So we'll let you
your
practice the
rhythm.
jingle until you get it.
So But no, what I'm saying is when you come in with a line, how you say the line sometimes dictates how the music comes together.
Okay, so is that going to be
So-
possible for us
so,
to do this?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, start.
It won't be good, but
Okay, I'm gonna be.
Are you on YouTube or are you on Facebook?
I'm on FB.
Okay, we need somebody on YouTube, so we're going to pick 6
YouTube's right up
one-liners.
here.
Okay, so if you're on
But
Facebook,
I don't think it scrolled down. Is it scrolled down all the way?
yeah,
it
can
may
you,
be.
can you move those comments forward a little bit, sir, on YouTube? All right, we're going to start looking for some one-liners, ladies and gentlemen. So
Okay, go ahead with your one-liners, everybody.
That's it. All right, well, we got,
All right, Jimmy,
grape
if you-
soda, nothing compares to grape soda. I got that one.
Okay.
Which
so
one?
We're going to start off, write this down. Nothing compares to grape soda.
Okay.
And then we'll use mine too. Dave slapped Brian with the hot dog bun.
All right, let me see. I always,
Nothing compares to a grape soda.
yeah,
There's no slip with Martelli.
love the sound of a dobro.
To a grape.
I love that. What is it?
I love the sound.
Hold on now. Hold on. I got to look at these. And then what'd you say?
There's no slipping with Martelli.
No. What was the other one for that?
No, that was Jimmy came up with that. Something about Dobo or something. Oh, Brian got
hold on.
slapped in the head with the hot dog bun. You did get that one right.
What'd you say? What? Brian.
Brian got slapped in the head with a hot dog bun.
Brian. got
Actually, it was
All
Dave
right,
slapped
I
Brian in the
got
head with a hot
two
dog
more
bun.
from the audience.
slapped in the head with a hot dog bun. All
Yes.
right.
sounds
Yeah.
like a love song.
All right.
It's heading that way.
I dream of Pensacola and the crazy Martelli gang.
Okay, I dream of Pensacola and the crazy Martelli gang. Hopefully, hopefully Tony can read your writing.
Yeah. We'll rescue the ones that we can read.
I dream of Pensacola
And the crazy Martelli gang.
and
And Roger Bennett, who happens to have his own studio, just chimed in and said, Dave and Brian wishing they could sing.
Oh my God. Okay.
yeah, I don't know if that's a line.
All right.
That's good. Roger, we need a line, not truth.
I'm gonna read these
Brian
three.
can't sing.
There you go. Okay, hold on. See, you can mash these any way you
Yeah,
want.
he can put. It doesn't matter how he does it.
All right, three more. We make our
Dream
choices, I
Pensacola and
guess.
the crazy
There you
Martelli.
go.
Another Martelli addict bidding on more fabric.
Oh, I like it. Another Martelli addict bidding on more fabric. I like it.
Okay.
It's a reality song.
Tony, raise your mic a little bit so we can hear
All
you
right, let's
sing.
get some other stuff in here.
There we go.
All right, I got another one. No slip cutting makes life so easy.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. I think we have one that's
We've
similar
already
to that.
we've got the sewing in there
Yeah, we
and
got
the
the
quilting.
sewing.
So let's get something else.
We got
Yeah,
Will
it can
Zeke
be
ever show
anything.
his
Let's get
face? We got
I like that one.
MAA Martelli Addicts Anonymous.
Yeah, you can do that one. Or
Another what? Okay, I didn't get.
will Zeke ever show his face? That's a good
Yeah, that's a
one.
good one. I like that. We need a theme song for
Yep.
Will Zeke ever show his face.
Yep. And these lines can be anything,
should
ladies and
never
gentlemen.
All right, that's
His
enough.
Yeah,
face.
Zeke should never show his face. I like that one better.
Ever
Never show his
show
face. Yeah.
his face.
Yeah. Poor Zeke. He's
Poor
not here to
Zeke.
defend himself. We got to give him the head bob too.
Zeke should
Oh.
never show his face.
Zeke should never show his face. That's the blues, huh?
There
All right,
you
how
go.
many we have, sir?
Well, here go.
What should we do? A head? What is it? The bobblehead?
Yeah.
We
However
gotta
you want
get
to
a
say it.
bobblehead in here.
Yeah.
And they've been waiting and watching.
Dave looks like a bobblehead.
There you go. But you got to do the bobblehead.
Yeah, I'll do the.
Do the bobblehead.
Do
There
the
you go.
bobblehead, rock. I like the way you talk. I love that.
And then
A hook. A hook.
don't
That's what I was
hide.
thinking.
Hey,
It's a hook.
and then don't hide your stash on me, girl.
I like it.
Oh, that's great.
Veracina said, my order in, and that is a win. You can add that one. That should be close to enough, huh?
I've got 6. Don't hide your stash on me, girl.
Stash.
That may be the title. Love song. Don't hide your stash on
on
me.
you, girl.
That's,
Fabric
that's a
stash.
Grateful Dead tune there.
Or you could always say like something like,
My order is
don't
in. and
hide
that's
your
what-
stash behind my rash.
Let's
Oh, I don't know about that. We don't condone anyone having any rashes on this show.
Yes,
We
no
are-
rashes. It's just irrational. All
I
right.
think they're starting to come in. My friends call me crazy chicken lady.
I like that one. Use that one. That's a good one too. All right, we have enough for Mr. Pasco, so he can start
Okay.
singing the song. He's practicing his hook. It's time to sing.
So
I
let's
hope
see.
he can read your writing.
Oh, it don't matter. Nothing compares to grape soda.
On air, we
All right.
are back.
All right. So while we took a brief minute, we finalized our song, and we are going to take
Third and
off. So
final
let's
break.
try this again, ladies and gentlemen, and
Here we
people
go.
around the world. Tony Pasco.
The first, what do you call it? This is your first time hearing a song. What is it called when you introduce a song? It's
Terrible.
Yeah, it's it's debut.
Yeah,
Oh,
debut.
it's
Or
okay.
the single debut of
Tony Pasco.
All right.
All right, Tony,
Tony
take it away.
Martelli.
Take it away.
I don't know. We'll name it later.
So let's see. All right. Well, what was the first one? Grape soda. Well, with these kinds of things, you just want to start with,
You do it however you want to
You
do
do
it.
what you got to do, bud.
You do it however you want to do it.
you just go, I like grape soda. I like it so much. You know, you turn into Adam Sandler on
Do
this
it.
stuff.
I love it. Do
You know
it.
what
I love
mean?
it. Do it. That was
Everything
awesome.
turns into an Adam Sandler song.
Do
This
it.
happens more
We
times
want that.
than
That's
not.
what we want.
That's
That's
just
perfect.
gonna
That
be
is
our
perfect.
theme song.
So-
Hey, record this.
Yes, get it. Good.
I like grape soda. I like it so much. Brian gets slapped in the head with a hot dog bun. Hey, you guys wrote these words. These aren't
I loved
mine.
it, man. This is awesome.
I dream of Picola. I like grape soda. The crazy thing, the Martelli game. Zeke will never show his face. I'm just trying to blend them all. I'm
I
just
love
trying
it,
to
man. This is
figure-
awesome.
It sounds good.
I would
Still
show
got
every
more.
week to listen to this. Go ahead, keep going.
Let's see. Dave looks like a bobblehead. Don't hide your stash on my girl or my hemorrhoid cream. I like grape soda. I like it so much. I like Picola. And crazy things the Martelli family makes me do. So, anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Pasco.
I never do that.
Dude, that was awesome, man. I loved it.
So
Yes,
I
high
have,
five.
hey, I've
Yes.
got this, and he's gonna sign this, and we'll always have this on set.
Dude, that was
I don't know
classic.
where the hell I came up with
Instant classic, ladies
Number
and gentlemen.
one song.
Instant classic.
Mark it.
I'm
Would
telling
that-
you, I would buy that off the shelves.
We
I'd
don't
wait in
know if
line
it's
all
going
night
on
to buy
rock
that
know.
one.
or country.
I don't know
A
about
little bit of both. Man, that
There was
was
reggae.
awesome.
yeah.
Tony, I loved it, man. That was awesome. Okay, if you did not enjoy that, there's definitely something wrong. I had a really good time with that. All right, let's get back to a little seriousness here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's open this up for Q&A. We're not going to have much time left with Tony Pasco. And then at the very end, we are going to give away a signed CD, Tony Pasco, with his very own guitar pick.
Jaluna.
And we are going to send that out to
Jaluna
some...
is the title of the album, Tony Pasco, and it'll have a guitar pick on the back end of it too. So
And I'm sure it will talk about someone's stash and all that good stuff in there.
No,
right,
it's
Tony?
instrumental actually.
Oh,
That's
instrumental.
a flamenco record.
Yeah, this DVD is a little bit more
You're
than a
gonna
serious
want it.
tip. You're going to want that, but it's going to be now. Hold on, before we start getting to Q&A, and I guess
I got
we can
these
start
for
with this
so-
question. So Tony,
I
where
know,
can
right?
Yeah.
if people want to
I
find
like
out a little
turtles,
bit
too.
more about Tony Pasco and about what you do? Is there a
Yeah.
place that we can send everybody to so they can
tell
find
us
out a
what
little bit
Tony
more about
Pasco's got going
Yeah.
on right now.
TonyPasco.com.
you? TonyPasco.com.
Everything's right there. Hit me up on, all the social
Spell-
media stuff.
Spell it. Nobody knows how to spell
Spell
Pasco.
Pasko.
Yes.
Well,
So,
shows you how much I
not
know. I always
saying,
spell it CO, so I was
it's
even
fancy.
wrong.
The new song "Grape Soda" will be out when?
Yeah, grape soda. That's my new single.
All right, so let's start off with
Lehigh
a
better
little.
pay me a commission or something.
We're going to start off with a little Q&A. So,
I just got
Jimmy,
it. It
if
checks
you
in
do
the
not
mail.
mind for me, can you kind of the questions that are coming in? Okay, questions are open, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have a question for Tony, please
Okay.
put it in the comment
Amy
section.
Zellers. Hey, Tony, did you help Duck Dynasty with their Christmas album? I think we.
No,
did we answer
actually,
that? Or talk to
I
them?
didn't do the Christmas record, but I did do the Christmas episode.
Right.
So when you watch the episode, And what's funny about that, they call me up and they say, we want you to write a bunch of Christmas, instrumental like Christmas songs, but they can't be the songs, but they have to sound like the songs so we don't get sued.
So completely do it different
Yeah.
while sounding the
So
same.
I had to write all these, like Oh Christmas Tree and all that kind of stuff, but they couldn't be the actual
Oh, geez.
songs.
So
but
you
they
had to
sound.
change it 10%.
Yeah.
Well, I had
10,
to
20%,
I had to
yeah.
Duck Dynasty it, and then again they wanted everything to sound like Duck
Can you remember
Dynasty.
kind of what it sounded like?
No, it's on the episode. But what was funny was I had to send everything to a lawyer.
Wow.
And the lawyer had to approve all the tracks before we.
So
we
there's
went
a lot of
live.
red tape that goes into
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay, so Mary Hintz wants to know, Tony, when did your music career begin?
Good question. When did your music career begin, Tony?
Oh God.
How early was it when you started doing this?
Well, I started playing guitar when I was 10, but my dad was a professional musician when I was growing up. So I was this weird kid that used to follow him around in his band. When he would go gig, I would go set up PAs and drums and everything.
So
and
you already had
so-
the kind of the knowledge of what's going on
Oh,
around the music
I was
industry.
obsessed with it.
Yeah, I
I was
bet.
You know what that
obsessed
reminds me of?
with
Like
music.
you see some of these professional athletes when they have kids and they're really young, and then they bring them to the ballpark and they get that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it would be similar to that. You as a young kid, being exposed to
A
some,
professional
I guess,
an athlete
musician.
or a musician.
Well, yeah, and my dad, I had access
And had the
to
equipment
him
all
and-
around you?
Oh yeah, we had band practice at my house, so I grew up with this 24/7 being around me. So when other kids would have like sleepovers and stuff, I'm like, I can't. I have a gig with my
Yeah,
dad
yeah,
at the
yeah.
Ramada. You know,
And
I'm
you're like,
I'm 9 years old.
Did
know.
you ever play? This is my question now. Did you ever play with any bands or anything like that?
Oh sure.
Did
Oh
you?
yeah. I had a band years ago. We got picked up by Warner Brothers, and then we lost our deal. And I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. Played with some famous people, and sat in with like Leonard Skinner and Joe Satriani, and played with Blackstone Cherry, and
What?
opened
Well,
for Bobby Rush.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Roger
Yeah.
Bennett. If you're watching, I
So-
think he's still watching. Roger
Yeah,
Bennett.
Roger was on here. He was instrumental in the making of this song.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So just a little bit about Roger. He has his own recording studio. So I'm trying to get my daughter down there. Ashley can
Yeah.
sing really
Oh,
well.
of course.
I'm trying to get Ashley down there to sing, and
Yeah,
we've been trying
we
to set
recorded
that.
that song for for being Martelli. She
Yeah.
did
The
her
only
song.
way she's going to get
Yeah.
down there is if Nicole babysits the kids.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
So if she
She's
makes
got
it
two beautiful
big,
kids
we get royalties.
Oh, so you get a bigger paycheck, right?
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Royalties, I don't know. They
All right.
don't pay that like they used to.
No. Any other questions, Jimmy? You see any other questions?
You get the 13-cent check in
Sure.
the mail.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's better than Spotify. I'll tell
Hey,
you
so
that much.
I've always wanted to know this in the music industry, and I've heard a few people talk about it. Like, so the moneyest part is in the songwriting. Am I right about that?
merchandising. Actually, nowadays
The merch,
it used
right.
to be in songwriting.
So the
I mean,
songwriter,
but you
'cause-
do want
So like if
you want to own your own music as a songwriter,
right,
you
so,
know,
but if I
so-
say I write a song for Tony Pasco, Tony Pasco sends it to #1.
oh, you can still get a cut, of course. Yeah,
Right.
You get your
Do you
piece.
buy the song outright,
No.
or do I?
Well, you can do a work for hire if that's how you want. If
Right.
that's how you set it up. I've done lots of those, and it's not a bad thing. You write something, you sell it.
yeah.
So we do have a question that came in. Why Taylor guitars? I don't understand the nature of that question, but why Taylor?
They're nice.
It's a brand.
It's a good guitar. It's a really nice guitar. It's not it wasn't ever my first choice. I came across this guitar.
It's super smooth.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Is Dad still working on a product in the guitar industry?
Yeah, he and I have been.
Back and
Well,
forth?
he's been brainstorming.
Yeah,
I've just been trying to keep up to what he's trying.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. But
Guys,
no,
15
so no, I do
steps ahead
like-
of every thought.
Yeah, I do like this Taylor guitar. This one, like I said, I came across it by osmosis.
I have a
it's really nice.
Takamine.
Takamine?
Yeah, is that a good one?
Those are great.
We had
I got,
Yeah, my
I
dad-
got
my
a
dad
really
had-
nice air guitar.
I love those.
Top of the line
I have a
air
But
guitar.
if
Mine-
you've ever
but mine's
seen me,
left-handed.
well, this is gonna sound. Never mind. I was gonna say, have you ever seen me do air guitar in the shower? And I guess you have not ever seen that.
I was
No,
going to say,
nor
like, this
do
is
I
a
want
totally
to.
different show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know?
Nor do I want
It's
to.
like,
Thank you. Good night.
yeah. I think I'm gonna say goodnight after that. I don't want to see me do air guitar in the shower.
All right, so we had someone ask about say they love the sound of the dobro. Tony, you're a multi-talented guy. What all instruments do you play?
Oh, good one. Yeah.
Well, I play lots of stringed instruments, bass, guitars, electric acoustic, mandolin, ukulele, that kind of stuff.
Banjo. Mhm.
Yeah, I had to learn how to play banjo because of Duck Dynasty. Never played banjo, could care less about
Did
banjo.
you
Is
pick
the
it up
banjo
easy?
got
And-
8 strings on it? Is that 8?
It's a 5-string.
It's a
This
five-
one's
okay.
a 5-string. Well, no, what happened was you never say no.
Yeah.
But never say no to Duck Dynasty.
Well, when the editors were kind of like, well, in this next season, you sit on these little conference calls, and then they say, well, we want to incorporate some more banjo and stuff. It's like, will you play banjo, right, Tone? Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
So I'm
Now.
hanging up the phone. I'm yelling to my wife, hey, who do we know owns a banjo? I got to learn.
Go get one
so
now.
we borrowed one. I got on YouTube, and I learned how to play banjo over the weekend on YouTube. And here's the funny story.
Over the weekend, everybody.
The
Did you hear
first
that?
story, or the first riff I came up, I don't even remember it because I'm not on banjo, but it was just this little
On the banjo? You sure it wasn't? No,
No, it was just
Like
one
the Beverly
little-
Hillbillies?
No, it wasn't even any of that.
Deliverance.
Yeah.
No, well, that's hard to play actually when you're new on a banjo. So I was kind of like trying to figure out these little riffs, these funny little things, and I kept playing it because I didn't even know how to record a banjo.
Right.
So I'm moving the mic around, I'm playing this riff, and my wife goes, "Send that in. That's good." And I'm like, "It's nothing. I don't even know how to play this thing yet." And she's like, "Well, you don't know that. Or
You
they
don't know that.
You
or
don't
they
know if you don't- you know
right.
you're
So
playing it, yeah.
I recorded it. I sent it
Fascinating.
in, and that's the banjo part you hear with sigh.
Oh,
A lot of the times it's that little
wow.
hiccup banjo thing, and it became kind of like a theme
A clicky.
for him.
So your wife
So
is
well, that's what I learned. You have to get out.
has
of your,
the ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just got to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
You're your own worst enemy as a writer. Especially doing this kind of thing, your ego gets in it, and you're thinking, well, no, I'm great. It has to be perfect.
Right.
And really, in reality, stop.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way.
If
just
someone
do it.
is listening to it,
you
like,
don't
dang,
know.
that sounds good.
And you don't know how they're going to use it,
Yeah.
so just send it in.
And if something,
and
goes,
something
it goes.
works, it
Well,
works.
it's like you sent in that Duck Dynasty and that's stuck.
Yeah,
Oh, it's kinda like-
and it becomes your thing then. That's
Yeah.
the funniest thing, because now people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, yeah, play some banjo riff." I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't play banjo for like a
I
year,
forgot how I did it.
a year or so ago." But now
You're good. Now you've got your own. You didn't borrow it for life, did you? The banjo?
No, I ended up getting another one. I ended up buying one. Yeah, I had to return that one.
Well,
back.
I
But
mean,
I ended
this,
up getting it back.
this
too.
is how being Martelli came about.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's very similar, a lot of similar ways. But all right, do we have any other
Any more
questions,
questions?
Mr. Jimmy?
There
For
was-
Well, I've got a little business-related question for you, and that's a lot of people are asking, are we moving the Thursday fabric sales over to YouTube entirely immediately? What's
No,
plan?
the answer to that is no, not entirely immediately. Hopefully, we can transition to that, unless for some reason we stop having problems. But we're to answer your question, right now we're gonna do on both platforms. We're gonna do YouTube and we're gonna do Facebook. And that's my understanding, right, Jimmy? This is more of a Jimmy and Dave
We're
question.
going to work our way into that. Okay, so for me to kind of say this, there's a little bit of a difficult curve that goes on when we're having the girls watch everyone buying on Facebook and buying on YouTube simultaneously. We don't want to get anyone mad that their bid wasn't seen first or whatever. So we may
Yeah.
need to work our way toward that. I think right now, that tomorrow, let's keep it on Facebook. But
It's Thursday.
But we are planning and thinking and moving.
Okay, so that's a good response Jimmy just said. That's our goal, to move that direction. We're going to stay on Facebook for now. I know it's been a little aggravating for everybody. There's several angles that we're trying to work on, the hard lines here in this building and several other things. But it's really weird. We used a cell phone and had 0 issues. So I don't know. We're just working on it. I guess all I can tell everybody is we're working on it.
All right, now back to Tony.
Yeah.
They want to know, what are some of the things you learned in producing a television show in your first year of producing a television show and moving away from music? What did you learn?
Oh, that's right.
to
Yeah.
never produce
A television show.
No, it was fun. We actually had a really good time. We had a lot of fun, and we got the episodes came together remarkably well because again they had a story to tell, and all I had to do was tell that story.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say the hard part, all of it's hard,
It's yeah.
because there's a lot of moving pieces, and unfortunately, being a producer, I've never done that job before. So securing, guests and locations and this and making
Nothing
sure
like
everybody's
jumping in the fire.
Yeah, but it's rewarding
Yeah.
when you're sitting, behind the camera, and I'm of course way more comfortable behind the camera. I enjoyed sitting and asking the questions because I had a little personal history with you guys, and we've all talked many times. So I kind of knew sitting there that we could just have a conversation and I can lead you in
You
the
knew where to
direction
go
say,
and lead.
Yeah, a
Like,
little
that's
bit.
what I get to do
and
with
that's
David a
where so
lot.
many, yeah.
Because you just know the
a little
I
bit
can,
of the backstory. and
Yes,
you can
yes,
kinda-
yes.
And then you know if you say something a certain way,
Mhm.
he's gonna just he's gonna pick up on it and just tell the story the way you want.
There are a
And then
couple
he
of
comes-
little questions he was asking the first one. And everybody that knows David Martelli, you never ever put a drink in your hands, water, Sprite, whatever it is, and try to drink something when he's talking. You never know what's coming out of it, because if you don't want whatever you're drinking
Oh, that's the whole
strewn
yeah,
everywhere,
The whole family's that way.
it
Yeah.
is.
Well,
yes, they are.
we
They
are
really
all
are.
off
You
the top
never
of the
know what's
head,
coming
yeah.
out of
And
there.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna throw it out there. Graham T. She's the biggest offender out of all. She
Graham.
says the funniest things some of the funniest things we have ever. I mean,
Cut.
Graham T. I'm telling you, I love that woman.
Yeah.
That woman. But all of them. But they all bring their own energy.
Yeah.
They all bring their own, way.
And
know,
you can't
I love-
you can't duplicate any of them.
No,
and it's a
and-
great thing because
yeah.
they're individually
But that's-
themselves in their perfect family. But it's such a special environment.
Yeah, and that's what makes the show so
Yep.
nice, I think, and why so many people, I think, like it and respond to it. And then you'll see it May 1st.
Yeah.
May 1st.
So-
and
so
what-
that's- so
once
that's
again,
what's
Tony,
going
May 1st, and what was it on Pure
Pure Flicks.
Flicks? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a streaming channel. Download it. You can get it on any kind of device.
Well, I know this. I want to say thank you personally, Tony, for coming on.
Yep.
We're going to wrap the show up, but before we do, I want to mention a few things, and then we're going to do
We'll do a giveaway for a Tony CD right here. You know what?
This too.
Oh yeah. We've got our buds.
Okay, so let me talk just a minute. Remember we opened the show and I said, we have all these expenses. We have a production crew, and we didn't want this to be a thing about selling. We wanted this to be able to enjoy you as much as you enjoyed us and just really help talk about several different topics. So one of the things that we brought in, and this has both been well tested, Brian and I both enjoy. Anybody that knows Dave, when I go home at night to unwind, I'm listening to different YouTube channels, like Prophecy. I like a bunch of different other things.
Yep.
Well, we have these really cool, and us talking about this product does nothing but help support the channel. So I'm giving you a really good product at huge discount. So I know I like having my personal time where I have my headphones on. Now it's my ear pods. We have some Paroka earbuds. The equivalent to these, run anywhere from $100